Hello guys, how are you doing? This video is about reviewing the order of operations and also referred as Pemdas. In the United States, usually people refer that as Pemdas because that's an acronym, and the acronym will be Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But what it really means is just the order of the operations that you have to work it. So Pemdas means parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction, and this is from left to right. This is the way that you should do your operation from left to right. So I have two examples here, simple examples for you just to review it. You should know this because this is previous knowledge that you got in different courses before in beginning algebra, for example. So if you apply PEMDAS, the first thing that you go from left to right is parentheses. Well, I have a parenthesis here, but once you go into the parentheses, you apply PEMDAS or PEMDAS inside the parentheses. So that's what we're going to do. So you keep this the same. Now you put your parentheses, and inside the parentheses you apply PEMDAS. So inside the parentheses, I take this like a one operation. And the only thing that I find is a multiplication, subtraction, and a division. So the first thing that you do is multiplication and division from left to right. So the first multiplication, 2 times 4 is 8. I keep this negative sign like that. And this division, 2 divided by 2 is 1. And I keep it like that. Plus, and then I solve the other parentheses, just whatever is inside the parentheses. From left to right, first a division, 6 divided by 3 is 2. I keep this the same, negative 1. Now from here, you just keep working. And you say, okay, I have a parenthesis, and within the parentheses, I have a subtraction. So I do the subtraction. Negative 5 times 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 plus 2 minus 1, 1. And I apply PEMDAS again here, and then multiplication first. So it's going to be negative 35 plus 1. And now I just have a division or an algebraic operation here. Negative 35 plus 1 equals negative 34, and that will be your answer if you do it by hand. If you use a calculator, you don't have to do that process. So what you're going to do, you're going to copy it, but that's the key. You have to copy exactly what you have over there. So you start with negative. Negative is not minus. Negative is this sign. Remember, negative 5, and then you have a parenthesis. Well, you use a parenthesis. 2 times 4 minus 2 divided by 2. You close the parenthesis, plus open another parenthesis, 6 divided by 3 minus 1, and always remember to close the parenthesis, and then you get negative 34, which is the same one that we got, of course, by hand. Let's work on the second one. The second one is a little bit longer, but it's the same thing. What is the first thing that you have to do? Parentheses. Actually, this shouldn't be called parentheses. That should be called grouping symbols. Parentheses, keys, brackets, square root even can be considered a grouping symbol. But then we have to change this, and instead of please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, I don't know, graciously excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I really don't know. But the first thing that we have to do is whatever is inside this. And that's what we are going to do. I keep the bracket the way it is. Now, inside of this, I apply PEMDAS. But inside of this, the first thing that I have to solve is the parentheses. So then I have to solve this first. 22 divided by 11. 22 divided by 11 is 2. And I keep the rest the same. Plus 3 squared times 3 plus. I can solve this because it's completely separate from that. And I can solve whatever is inside the parentheses. 12 minus 6, 6. And I can put it there. Now you keep working inside of this. When you're working inside of this, then you have 2 to the third. But keep this bracket the way it was. Now the first thing that you do inside that is exponent. So 2 to the third is 8 plus 3. And you keep the rest the same. Times 3 plus 6. And you keep working. Now you solve this bracket here. Inside the bracket is just an addition. And I'm going to change it by parentheses, 11 squared is the same, times 3 plus 6. And you apply Pemdas again. Now you have to solve this exponent first. This is 11 squared is 121 times 3 plus 6. And you apply Pemdas again. Then you have to do the multiplication first and then the addition. This is 363 plus 6. And now you do the addition, 369. And that will be your answer for this expression. If you use a calculator, again, then you are going to copy exactly what you're seeing here. Bracket. We don't have a symbol for bracket, but we can change it for a parenthesis. So I open a parenthesis, and then suddenly I have another parenthesis, which I open as well. Then I copy 22 divided by 11, close the first parenthesis, elevate it to the third. This is the symbol for elevating here, elevating to the third. Now be careful here, because if you keep working, you see that the cursor is a little bit higher there, because what we're entering is the exponents now. In order to go back to the level of the numbers, I have to go to this arrow, and then you see the cursor is complete. Plus 3, and now it says close the parenthesis or the bracket. Well, I close it. And now all of these that we copy is elevated to the square. Elevated to is this symbol, remember? Elevated to square. Once again, I have to bring the cursor down to the level of the numbers. Times 3 plus this parenthesis. I don't have to put it really, because this is a plus sign, but put it. Just be sure that you put it in case you're messing something up. 12 minus 6, and remember always to close your parentheses. And that's 369, which is the same number that we got when we did it by hand. So keep practicing this. Be very proficient, because in engineering you're going to be using that a lot. And when I mean a lot, I mean a lot. See you next video, guys.